Testing. Okay, good. Hello everyone, my name's Ethonra, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Part 2. If I didn't say that already, I'm kind of distracted. So let me get this out of the way first before I hop into the story, otherwise I will forget. Hey there. One is in typical Ethonra fashion. I did forget some things I wanted to mention. Something that's kind of a big deal. Well, yes and no. It's the Reaper class. I'm all but certain when I played Gunbreaker, I mentioned how satisfying the sounds were with the gunblade that it made. Reapers, to me, is even more satisfying. I'm not even going to try to make the sound with my lips. We both know I can't. But for those who have tried it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It makes a very, well, satisfying sound when you're slashing people up with it. That sounds kind of psychopathic, but I'm a good person, I promise. The second thing, and this is something I've been noticed but I meant to point out, is probably not going to do it now, because, of course, yeah, see right there. Unfortunately, I didn't do it when it was relevant, but because Reaper, of course, being Reaper, is such a big deal, all of these, I don't have Mentor yet, but all of these were requesting tanks, every single one. So I thought that was kind of neat. And lastly, well, this one isn't something I forgot, this is something that kind of just happened, is for once in a long time, I'm actually pleased with the random thumbnail that YouTube gave me for my Reaper stream that I did yesterday. I thought for sure it'd land on something a little more random, like Zio herself, or me talking to some random NPC or something like that. But no, it randomly picked a good one, so I'm actually happy about that. Oh, and speaking of Reaper, funnily enough, after that stream that following night, I had a dream that I ended up accidentally using Aphantasia and I couldn't change back. That was really strange and irrelevant. Let's go and get started. I talked to all these people at the end of part 1. They're still saying the exact same thing. Hopefully nothing will go wrong, you know. Though that's still kind of an issue here, so let's just hop into it and see where we go. Oh, before I do that, level 85. I grinded off screen up to this point because I'm familiar with roadblocks. Sooner or later it's going to say you need to be level 81 to enter this dungeon. You need to be level 83 to enter that dungeon. So I got to at least level 85. And there's one more thing I want to show after this as well. It's a very cool Reaper skill. I'm very, very happy to have this. I pointed it out before, but I didn't point out its upgrade, or at least I don't think I did, so I'll do that after this. Oh, that's too bad. I guess they're not going to upgrade these. Alright, before we get into it, let me bring up that thing I was talking about. This right here. And this brings up the point when I said I wish they would just give us traits instead of skills, like more clutter for the hotbar, because this is a really good trait. I'm not going to read it out loud to you, because I don't want to talk your ear off more than I'm already going to. But yeah, just look at this skill. That's amazingly useful for a melee DPS. I like that a lot. Yep, indeed. Okay, that's kind of interesting. That's definitely different. I'm obviously going to do my best to do that. For those who don't know, I love lore, and I don't want to miss anything, so we'll definitely hit those, provided I see them. So this might be a bit of a slow burn. Oh, there's one right over there. That's kind of weird. This is the first person I've talked to in the entire area, and I just happened to find this type of person. I'm not sure what to call it. Guide, I guess. But almost every city area has one of them. Oh, hey. Hey, cousin. If you are watching this, I'll just tell you now, most of my notifications are off, so won't be seeing too much of anything. I always do that when I stream. Yep, guide. Called it. The Last Stand, a cafe, being one of the most important parts of the city for scholars. You don't say. Oh, that's good. They're actually on the map. That's very helpful. I was afraid I'd have to actually hunt for these things. Oh, wait. Never mind. Looks like I spoke too soon. I find it interesting that people like Urion J, Cryle, and, well, who else am I thinking of? All of them talk more about the bread and how bad it is, yet they have burgers here. Why would you not mention the burgers? I know the actual answer, and it's kind of game-breaking, but still, realistically, I talk about the burgers far more than I talk about the stale, tasteless bread. Oh, I also took the liberty of attuning to all the smaller aetherites, so that way we don't have to waste that much time. Because like I said, I can already tell this is going to be a slow burn. Honestly, I didn't even really get a good look at the thing. Funnily enough, the first time I was here, I actually didn't do that. I just attuned myself to a small one that was close by, and then I left. I didn't really think about it until after. And I was like, oh man, now I gotta find a way to get back. Thankfully, it's easy. You just go through Limsa Lominsa. But it was still stupid not to do it in the first place. I'm thinking if I warp there, whether it'll break the tether I have on these two or not. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm not going to risk it, because that would just waste more time than just doing this, if I'm wrong. I'll say that doesn't lock it all open. This reminds me of, oh, I was going to say this reminds me of the pendants. No, that's the inn. I forgot the name of the marketplace in the Crystarium, but this place reminds me of it for obvious reasons, as Raha built the Crystarium to resemble this place. I always like Cryle's sense of humor. I gotta say, I like this music, but certain sounds keep making me think my phone or something is going off. Like, they're chirping noises or ringing noises or something like that. Oh, good, and it changes with the day. I can only imagine how congested this must have been when everybody was running around with these two. Or I wonder how much it would have affected anything. It might not have done anything at all. since apparently, you know, since they're tethered to me, only I can see them. But it does make me wonder if it had an effect on the connection to the server, if everyone was doing it at the same time. Unfortunately, my back is completely turned. We'll look at it in a second. There we go. Kind of. Nope, still locked me in. I would have talked to her from the other side if I knew it was going to do that. That's actually interesting. Makes me thirsty too. That's probably going to be a problem later when I start talking too much. Told you. That is a really nice view. My cousin can probably relate to this because he played the same game as me. He probably won't feel the same though. But the music in this area is reminding me a lot of Sonic Unleashed. I can't remember the name of the stage. It's one of the first stages, one of the first, if not the first stage in the game. The ocean town. There's always an ocean level. No, that's not true because Green Hill Zone. Anyway, it reminds me of this oceanic city. The music and the architecture kind of reminds me of it. It just gives me Sonic Unleashed vibes, which is a good thing. I like that game. Specifically the Sonic sections. They were way better than the Werehog sections. Objective. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh. Okay, despite her giving me instructions, I'm probably still going to get lost. Oh, let me say this too, because I might as well, you know, kill some time while we're going there. Uh, I've been practicing with Reaper a bit. I'm a bit better at it than I was before. Keep in mind what I'm about to tell you is do as I say, not as I do, because I'm guaranteed going to mess up a couple of times anyway, even though I know what to do. But Reaper does in fact have positionals. It's probably a shocker for the Dragoons who don't know that their own Dragoon class has positionals. I'm going to talk about that later too. But yeah, it has positionals, and one of the way it prepares you for it is with Gibbet and Gallows, and I find the best way to do that is to what's the word I want to use here? Pre-position yourself before you actually move. Like say for example, if Gibbet was ready, go ahead and be on this side. Then once you get Gibbet off, since Gallows is going to be next, go ahead and stand here. Then once you do that, go ahead and get back over here for Gibbet. It's kind of like that. I'll explain it better when I'm actually fighting something. But that's kind of the rhythm I've set up for myself. But again, chances are I'm going to mess up, especially if I'm fighting something that's not a big deal and doesn't warrant my best effort. I like this music better than the morning one. Now, obviously, this one doesn't remind me of Sonic Unleashed, but the morning one definitely did. And a lot of Lullafels here. Oh, I recognize him. If that's who I think it is. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, wait a minute. I'm mistaken. I'm looking at the hair now, and the fact that he said it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I was like, what is he talking about? I did the quest. He should know me. But there's a Lalafell that looks very similar to this one. They both have gray hair. They both wear glasses. They both have purple eyes. But his hairstyle is slightly different, and now that I got a better look at him, his features are different. But I thought he was someone else. Yeah, see? I think I'm thinking of his cousin. Yeah, they even have that same kind of smirky smile. Yeah, see? Yeah, so, okay. That's why they look so similar. Also, it doesn't really matter now because that was so long ago. But I thought I should just mention it now just to be clear. For my cousin, I just thought about it since cousin right there. But I just happened to see his message when I looked down. There was no sound at all. I just happened to look. That's why I saw it. So if anyone does happen to message me and I don't reply back, either because stream or I legitimately didn't see it, but I always check after. People have been telling me the story gets really, really crazy. Thankfully, my FC's good about avoiding spoilers, but I heard the first dungeon is exceptionally good. And I think kind of hard. I think I only heard like one or two people say it was kind of hard, but most of them just say it's either really good or crazy. I shall see when I bring my AI companions. Alright, we'll definitely check that out. If I'm going to be showing off as much as possible, might as well at least see what the in-room looks like. Oh, I should also... well, geez. I should also mention that if I could sign in whenever I want, I'd almost certainly be level 90 by now. Oh, I just saw... well, I can talk to him when I come out. But yeah, I'd almost certainly be level 90 by now, but I already told you why that didn't happen in the Reaper stream. I like that Behemoth poster. And that Ifrit one. That's a it's kind of hard to make Ifrit look cool. That's actually cool looking. I know you can't open this, but it's a nice little room. Okay, about to say, I couldn't remember if any of my stuff was damaged or not. That was from, I actually hit 85 right before, well, more or less right before I started the stream, because I might have said that wrong. Anyway, I was level 84, and that's when I was going to start the stream. But while I was waiting for things to settle down, I decided to run a dungeon, and let's see, I got this one. And on the second boss, right as I killed it, you know, there's the huge explosion. That's when the fanfare went off. It kind of deafened the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da noise. So I thought that was funny, to me at least. I was making sure Cryo wasn't waiting out here somewhere. I know she said in the main hall, but I was just making sure there was no one else out here to talk to. Oh wow, now this is an impressive room. Hey look, there's King Moggle Mog the 12th, I believe he is. What else we got in here? Garuda. Yeah, I knew Garuda would have an awesome poster. I was actually going to mention that in the other room. Like I said, Ifrit, kind of hard to make him look cool, but I mean, if you could do this with Moogles, then I guess anything's possible. It almost makes me wish the last time I pushed this far would have been more appropriate for me to take my break. Oh well.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Moriange. We're all here now. Let's get down to business then, shall we?
I'll let it play on its own since they're actually talking.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroid's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, The 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the Satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course! The more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Okay then. No, that's interesting. Yeah, it should be like that. It really didn't dawn on me until Thancred asked Estini if he had any objections. That's who is going to replace Reen. I was thinking she obviously can't join in the AI dungeon if she's not here. And it just feels so... I can't even think of the word I want to use here. Just the fact that Estina is actually part of the team now, so they're just drifting away like a feather on the wind. I'm not even concerned about this. I'm just going to sell it because the item level is 515. Mine is 530, 530. Like I said, I was preparing, except for this. That's probably going to be one of the first things that get replaced. But I was preparing for Endwalker the entire time, so all that's good to go. That being said, I'm still going to do Kryles first, if I can't accept both at the same time. I also want to comment on how I'm glad Kryle's willing to do that kind of work, because that work is probably easier than, say, digging a ditch, but over time it gets incredibly tedious and boring. So, big props for her for being able to do it for as long as she did. Alright. Since Thancred's apparently involves actually leaving, I'll do his second. Unless, of course, it forces me to leave now. Hmm. Yep. Hold on, let me actually turn that off for this. I'm probably gonna do that every time. It just so happened I was able to read it just as fast as it disappeared. Some of that was me though, but I don't want to get distracted talking and then it skips ahead. That's cool. Actually, just so I don't get confused, I'll just do that for that one. Ah, right, side quests. When I was grinding the levels for myself, I was debating on if I should do those on stream or not. And I'm gonna say yes, but only when I need the extra levels. Like I said, the wall roadblock is not gonna hit me yet because level 85, but when it does, I'll start doing the side quests. I wonder what they're doing. That's not a comforting thought. Well, I didn't expect to get dragged into it as well, but I'm more than happy to help. I have not seen this many Lalafels since being in the first. Specifically that one town with all the well, two towns with all the dwarves. This part of the song is beautiful, by the way. Just wanted to state the obvious there. wow. Now that's an interesting one. So is the other one, to be fair. But this one especially, because we've actually been to Ildishire. Sure, whatever. And yes, I'm going to read all of these, so if you can't handle it, you better back out now. Come back later. I don't want to bore you to death. And this will obviously be up on YouTube, so you can always just fast forward it if you watch it after it's posted. But for me and my fellow lore enthusiasts, I'm going to read these. I hope I can read all of them before finding the third one. I'm genuinely curious. Oh, look at that. Good part for the beautiful part to kick in. Couldn't have picked a better book name. Aw. Yeah, when you put it that way, Dalamund was more of a satellite than a... Well, I guess you could make the argument it was a moon, but since they launched it into space, satellite. Hey, don't tell me what to do. Besides, I couldn't tell what book it was until I read it. On that note, though, yeah, or rather, no, that doesn't surprise me. Because I'm well aware that the universe does, in fact, expand forever. There's a cause and effect for everything, and there's only one actual cause for why the universe expands forever. No, that's a cute mantra. I'm surprised she read that for that long, because it was already immediately obvious that's not what we were looking for. I did say I'd read all of them, but I just find that funny from more of a character's perspective. Okay, that's good. I was kind of afraid all the other books might have. Oh, no, I guess they didn't disappear. I figured there might have been more on that side, like over there might have had the tome I was looking for. But that's fine. That just means we get to get out of here sooner, kind of. I almost wish I was playing as Zio Lalafell just so I can see how tall he is compared to them. I know he's taller, but I'm wondering about how much. He's about, or let me reverse that. Zio Ara is about twice as tall as him, so I guess that's a good enough measurement. Ah, that's what they were doing. I hope they don't ask me actual questions, because I can only remember so much of what I read. I don't think Zio brought anything. Actually, no. I think they actually did disappear, didn't they? So maybe she did. Hmm. Speaking of Garlemald, I'm hoping Bosja gets another expansion soon. Also looking forward to the new raids. I can't imagine what they'll be, though. Huh, who knows? Maybe those will be the Bosja thing. I love they still play this thing. I almost didn't recognize it till it hit this part. Wow. It was good to see her at least trying. See what I meant? Very diligent. Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't. Oh, you mean the actual event itself? Sure, I can do that. I thought she was basically giving me a pop quiz on all those books. I better not do that, because I might actually hit the wrong thing on accident. I was just going to scroll through them, but knowing me, I'd slip and press the wrong thing. Yeah, that's true. I honestly don't know. I don't think is that one, but at the same time, things didn't just go completely pear-shaped all at once, so... But despite that, since I'm unsure of this one, I do know by the end the entire star was imploding, so I'm going to say that one. Because I don't remember the land doing anything. Yeah, see? Keening sound, so the second one was correct. Honestly, don't remember that, though. I really don't remember the ground crying out, so got that one wrong, obviously. But that's okay. It's not like I need to make excuses. Everyone knows my memory's a train wreck anyway. Now that one, I actually can answer. Like, at least let me get my redemption question. Yeah, I'm still kind of annoyed about that second question. If it just straight up said, did it all happen at once, or was it little by little? I obviously would have chose little by little. As opposed to, no, it came from the ground. Oh, you're saying the exact same thing. That didn't last long. Who else is there? Oh, isn't, oh, I know who it is. I had to stop and think for a second who was in this party, and then who went with Thancred, but Thancred's, I remember, so I know who it is. Yeah, I can imagine. Alright, let's see if he's going to say the same thing again. Nope. I guess he's reading. Yeah. Oh, poor Alice A. Okay. See, I didn't bother reading this since the other story one didn't do this, so we gotta catch up. I'll just leave this on screen for a few moments for when this is posted. Pause it here, read it. Alright, and get that part. And there you go. See, that's actually, no duh, but that's actually my fault because funnily enough, believe it or not, at the beginning, I was thinking to myself, I should check anyway because I know it's only a matter of time before they do this. And then, of course, immediately afterwards, I don't, and they do. So, more Ethonra luck for those of you who are unfamiliar with that. Also, I noticed the bunny boys can get shorter ears. I don't know if that's... I'm pretty sure that's not unique to them, but when it comes to the females, they always have really tall ears or loppy ears. I vaguely recall anyone having short ears. Except, there's one right there, I think. They don't look as small as his, though. Whatever. We're not here for that. Oh, that's good. So if for whatever reason you missed it or rushed and do decide, hey, it would have been nice to see what those books said, you can. Okay, so I guess that's my hint to go and... Nope, no it's not. I thought I was going to say maybe go and do Thancred's thing, but no, not yet. I wonder if Alice just wants to get out of here. Yeah. Yeah, see, now this one's nothing, even though it has the exact same symbol. This is also a chance for me to demonstrate what I was talking about in the other stream, where I said you can just move the cruiser instead of actually going down the list, even though you don't need to do that. And doing this is actually kind of faster. See, you can't actually move the cruiser independently. I guess that's how it could be useful. Because I was saying, I like that they gave you the option, but I don't really see how you could use it, but there were no side quests up when I did it, so yeah, I can see how that could be useful. Oh, now that that beautiful music isn't playing, yeah, this music also reminds me a bit of Sonic Unleashed. And kind of Final Fantasy 15 too. I never thought Final Fantasy 15 would have, well, I was going to make a simulator joke, but it's not even really worth it. I kind of like it, though. I'm glad she actually has the mouth to say something. I'm more annoyed at the fact that he thought I'd come up to here just to sit and eat food for free. Come on. Something's going on there. Yeah, thanks. See what I meant by talking to everybody, though? There's some great dialogue here. Oh, that's kind of neat. Got a player here chilling out. Kind of dressed like him, too. Must be cosplaying. That are very good coincidence. Nah, it's just a coincidence. For a second, I thought they had the exact same shirt on and pants, but nah, they're not. Yeah, see, at least he puts her down gently. Yeah. Okay, when I called this when I was about to make that simulator joke, it was just supposed to be a joke. I'd just like to clarify that right now. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard, but I gotta move fast. Otherwise I'm gonna forget. Let's see. I'm already kind of forgetting. I believe this was the omelet. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I thought you were the one. Dang. He did say by the water side, but I thought... Oh, okay, that's where I got confused. If you need any better example of me having a bad memory, there you go. I thought by now, for those who know me, you would have the proof, but there you go. Because all I remembered from the first one was the name. See, I had that right the first time, because I thought, okay, Gisela wants the omelet. But I recognized that as a female name, so as soon as I saw her, I was like, okay, omelet. Completely ignoring the name. That's inviting a joke, but I'm not gonna make it. Those of you... Actually, no, because it's way too vague, I guess, but... Let's just say that sets up a very easy, we'll stay neutral joke. One of several. Urbane banter with a smile. Nah, you just have your lobster. That probably would have got a funny response, but... just ruining that first dish just does not put me in the mood. That's a nice looking lobster though, jeez. Mm-hmm. See, that's actually really interesting. I'll talk to the others too, just to see what their dialogue is now. But that's really interesting because why would they do that if they didn't believe? So some part of them, even though everyone else is saying, oh, it's just a hoax, some part of them, no matter how small, is thinking, what if this is real? So that right there is very interesting. I wish I could eat that. But if I did, it'd kill me. I'm a warrior first. Zio is a waitress second. A distant second. Oh, various incarnations of Zio have gotten along with her, yeah. I'll try to remember that, because this is pretty static. Going the wrong way. Pretty static, if I'm not mistaken. Once you get one like these, they'll never change. But I'm going to be really mad at myself if I end up missing one, so I'll try to bear in mind to keep checking. I'm guessing that's a hunting board. I'm going to have to look at that later. Actually, let me look at it now. Ah, can't. Okay, that's fine. I was just going to do it now in case I was actually out in the wild and saw something to hunt.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Oh yeah, those must be the... what do you call them? Starts with a G. Not gleamers. I don't think that was it. Something like that, though. Gleaners. I think it was gleaners.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
Sounds like a dungeon.
Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the Gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
You have to wait for them to reset. I was wondering what that was clipping over there. It's that board. I don't think so. Nah. 2 out of 3 isn't bad, but no thanks. I'm gonna wait a little bit to let everybody load in so I can talk to them. Honestly, I thought she beat me back here. Yeah, a little bit. Oh man, she almost put me to more work. Oh man, I was seriously getting into the music there. This might be one of my relaxing zones to come to. And I need to turn that off. I barely got to read that. Tempting. Very tempting. Well, gee, thanks. Yeah, that's sounding more and more like a dungeon to me. And yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. So, there you go. Read that if you need to. I'm definitely going to bring Crow with me. If she's allowed to be an AI partner, she's definitely going to be on the list. But we don't have a tank, because Thancred's not here, so, maybe not. Oh, well, no, because Tia, well, rather, Raha can come as the tank, I guess, so never mind. I forgot he has the all class. He can do literally anything. That's weird that it just spontaneously started snowing. wonder if this was... Yeah, it had to have been. I was gonna think whether this was, what's the word I want to use here? Scripted. But it's obviously isn't, because I saw that one player here. So it was just really fortunate timing. I do like this though, because let me talk about that while we're doing this. I like it because it makes the characters feel more real. It helps, like Final Fantasy XIV is far from being a dead world, but doing something like this does make it feel more alive. Like take Genshin Impact for example. All I'm going to say about that is birthdays, birthday letters. And with Genshin Impact's lore, I find it really hard to get into. It might be, I'm not even going to say it might be biased, because it's not at all. I can be unbiased. It's really not that hard. It's just I can't get into their lore the same way I can get into Final Fantasies. Like, how you... Obviously, if you weathered the storm with me, you saw me reading those books. That's something I would not do in Genshin. I barely talk to the people in that game. They give me a quest, I either... If it's not a really interesting one or it's not related to a character I like, I just scroll through it. Oh, don't worry, I'm good. I like their outfits. I saw it earlier in the boat. I just didn't comment on it. I just do that to get the marker off the screen. Aw, look at that little sword. I wish he was looking at me. That was funny, though. You don't see Lalafell like gladiators all that often. Or paladins, to be more accurate, but you know what I mean. I just want to make sure I'm all caught up here. Oh, dramatic rain. I love it.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
I like how Alice just ran off the screen and Alphonse silently walked after her. That's pretty much in line with how she is.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh. Did you call to me just now? No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
I wish they would stop doing that.
I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
That's a good shot. What I meant though was I wish they stopped doing that is when something... Oh, I didn't expect Leto to be here. Hey, buddy. That's kind of strange. Does it... Oh. Did I say that can only mean one thing? That means... Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know if I've introduced him. I imagine I have, but there's Leto, my chocobo. Or Lido. I kind of change it up depending on the first one that comes to my mind. Let me try to look around for all of them before I go too far. Oh, look at that dog. I wonder, is that... That's got to be the mount for getting all the dogs, I assume. Oh yeah, that means I can't fly either. Huh, that's gonna be kind of a pain. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, tell me about it. I kind of like the detective work too. Like, that one's fair because we've done that before. I don't remember where in Shadowbringers, but we've done that before. Hey, Cryo. That reminds me, before I forget, more to the point of what happened with Cryo there is how she specifically said that Zio called her. And I find that really strange because first world problems indeed. I should talk to them again, just see what they say. Oh man, I do not envy your problem. Anyway, that she said that Zio called her name because, if I'm not mistaken, her powers are more about hearing the whispers of the soul. Yeah. Her powers, her echo, is more attuned to hearing the whispers of the soul, while Zio here, Warrior of Light / Warrior of Darkness, theirs is they can see into a person's heart, and from that extension, their past. While I cannot remember her name to save my life, but she's also an Aura. Hers is the ability to, pretty much the polar opposite of Zio's. Hers can see the future, the unavoidable future, where no matter what it is, there's nothing that can be done about it. It will happen. So I find it strange that Cryo would think the whisper of my soul is what she heard. Then again, she literally could have just thought, hey, did you call my name? Probably just looking into it a bit too hard, but I like theorizing things like this. To me, this is one of the ways I get enjoyment out of this game. That's funny, because I saw one of them on top of the box. I thought she was about to go send me after them. Okay, where's Alice? Let me look again really hard, because I want to see what her dialogue is. Oh, there's your Stola. One of the things I think is interesting to me that I saw, what I assume is the collect all the doggos, that mount over there glowing, is I just so happen to have this one equipped. So that's a pretty... I know the word I want to use, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. I'll just say funny coincidence. Ah, there you are. No wonder I couldn't see you. I figured she was around Alphino, but I genuinely did not see her. Okay. I was just seeing how she ended the sentence with a question mark or an exclamation point. I thought it was both for a second. And yeah, it does actually kind of matter. To me, at least. Being a amateur theorizer and all. Oh, look at him in the background, walking on top of them crates. I'm gonna try something. I didn't bother to actually check, and I'm almost certain this won't work. Matter of fact, I know it won't. Let me. It doesn't specifically say that it's in combat, but I'm just curious if it'll actually give me a EXP boost. I'm pretty certain it won't, but just so I won't be confused later, if someone new ever asks me, I can give them an actual answer. But I'm fairly certain this won't work, but I'm curious to see. Because this is one of the few times I'd be okay with being wrong. I think I forgot to check the journal too, didn't I? I don't know why Zio kneeled. Yeah, I knew that was only a matter of time. Oh, he doesn't stand a chance. Man, she's good. Alright, so let's go get these tiny little robots. Look at them walk. The only time I ever saw these things, or where they appeared at first, to my knowledge, is in... Crap, I cannot remember the name of the dungeon. It's not the... I almost want to look. But I'm not. Best I can... Oh, okay, that explains it. Because I thought this was a girl, but then she said he, and this was clearly who they're talking about, so I was like, oh, okay, Bunny Boy. That's a yes if I've ever seen one. Also, that's a Bunny Boy I saw earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, so it's not them. He did say they were a special brand. I figured they might still look the same. Man, I keep forgetting I can't fly, so this is going to take a minute. Off stream, I'm definitely going to have one of my friends Uber me around to get the Aether points. Huh. If I didn't know any better, I thought I would have thought that was some kind of hunt, but no, apparently that's just a common enemy. Yeah. Well, at least this way you'll get to see me use my Reaper again if I get into a fight. I'm going to try to avoid one, because I'd rather just find the fugitive I'm looking for. Ah, there we go. Besides, it's like, yeah, it's only a matter of time. I'm not going to try that hard. I'm going to wait for later in case something more dangerous shows up. Not quite what I meant, but fair enough. Oh, by the way, this is the first time I've heard the battle music, so can't wait to get more of that. I could have... There's no point in doing that, not really. I could have swore they were talking about... I know where I made my mistake. I was reading Mamrot as Mammoth. I'm getting the words wrong. But for those of you who know what I'm talking about, those tiny little robots have a very similar name. I thought he was talking about those. Because, like, what kind of creature would attack a robot to eat it? I was like, well, maybe it attacked it because it thought it was flesh and bone. But no, it's not a robot at all. Oops. I just clicked really fast. I didn't even pay attention to what it was. Also, might as well do this before I forget. I think I forgot to check the journal last time too, so sorry about that. I almost thought that was an enemy until I realized there was no music. The fact that it's still raining, I'm guessing, again, was not a fixed event. Just got lucky. which is cool for me because I like the rain. Ah, there you are. Actually, just in case it warps me back, let me take care of this. Actually, I don't have a compass, so it won't let me, will it? Oh, no, it will. Good. I thought it was like if I don't have the compass, then it won't even let me try to sync up. But no, I do obviously just need the compass to find them. Also, did I see that right? Or did that thing have like a band on its tail? Or was that just how its tail looked? Ah, right. I was like, why do I have 2 sacks? And I said, ah, right. One of them is from... Because no one is doing the Bosnia stuff. Nobody. Well, let me rephrase that. No one is doing Del Reyda and the Castrum. I don't know if anyone's doing... I'm sure there is. But I haven't even bothered to check if anyone's running Del. I was feeling bad for this one person because he asked if anyone was going to run Del Reyda. I know it's not Del Reyda, but I said before I'm going to call it that because it reminds me of my elementary school. But he asked if anyone's going to run it, and I've been queuing up for like hours, days, whatever, waiting for people to queue up, and nobody would. So as much as I would have loved to have helped him do that, I couldn't because nobody would help. And they were saying, you know, it's not worth doing the EXP, everyone's farming right now, blah, blah, blah. They said, yeah, I know, I just figured I'd ask. I felt bad for them. Also, if you hear me moving my headset, please bear with me. I can't find my small earbud, and this thing is starting to pinch my head, so gotta kind of adjust it. This answer seems obvious, and so does that one, but since we're kind of here for information, I'll pick this one and see what he says. Yeah, okay, but I was like, say what he says, then I saw the face again. I was like, no, wait, I'm right. This one is a man. I thought I messed up for a second. Still not used to seeing the beautiful men bunny boys just yet. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. I didn't think you eat them. Thought they were just here to kind of start their own little population. But I guess that's fair. Can't have them overpopulating. But I thought if they were going to eat something, it'd be like the lamb or dodos. I like how coincidentally it stopped raining too after finding the little thing. Like something you read out of a little storybook for children. Marmots and mammots. I think that's what I'm getting them mixed up with. Sorry. Yeah, tell me about it. I be on the internet all the time. But yeah, obviously, again, real world versus game logic. Real world would be no Cryle. We're not moving until you tell me what's going on. Even if all she's feeling is a headache, Cryle should know better. Cryle should know something as meager as a fast descent would not be enough to do what's going on right now. Even if it's not the echo, she should know it's not that. Now, that's just my concern talking, obviously. I've heard, thankfully, again, no spoilers, I'm not even sure if it's actually true, but allegedly, just to not build this up more than it actually is, if it is even a thing, something is going to happen to somebody. That's all I'm going to say. Those of you who know, you know. Those of you who don't, you'll find out. Hey, this music. Yeah, you're telling me. Okay. So, it seems I should have known as well. Cryle, it's kind of hard to say because she is really smart. So it seems more like she's putting up a front as opposed to, nah, it's just the fast descent. She just doesn't want to talk about it right now. That's my assumption, at least, from what she just said. Him saying this, again, I keep bringing up dungeon, but I've been wrong. But if he keeps talking about all this stuff, I'm hoping there is a dungeon like this, because there are several dungeons in the game that have various logs and notes scattered about, and you will never read them, because no one will wait. So going in with the AI is a nice chance for me to actually read them. Okay, so I'm gonna check just in case. Yeah, maybe they changed it, or haven't changed it, whatever. But I can promise you, once upon a time, it might have been one time, literally, but somewhere along from Aeronborn till now, oh, Leto's about to peace out. There was a time where there was a situation like this where people were sitting around, you could talk to them. But even though, let's say, 3 out of the 4 will say the same thing, 1 will say something different. So if you ever see me talk to everybody again and they still say peace, and they still say the exact same thing, that's why, because I really don't want to miss anything. Speaking of which, it's a good thing I'm doing this, because Reaper gear is probably going to fly off the shelves once this game opens up to the public. I have not used a Chocobo Porter since, like, Heaven's Word. Case in point. Speaking of... Yeah, okay. Make sure they're not hiding somewhere. Hey, look at that. I was curious if he was going to say something. I guess he can't talk. Not all of them can talk. Ah, someone might be onto our little scheme. Fair enough. Kind of wonder if this is actually going to go anywhere. I feel like it won't, even though it should. I learned my lesson from Hydatos before I make that mistake. Let me try to get to higher ground first before I check low ground. Oh, it's that guy from before. It's a good thing I didn't speed past that. Okay, so he said it's green and has a distinctive caw. It's not gonna let me read that, is it? No, it isn't. And even though I want to take a small break right now, I'll keep going, because I will absolutely forget if I stop now. Okay, hornbill, green, distinct caw. Let's see. I think it's that one right there. No, that's definitely not it. I think it's that one. Yeah. Because it's been a while since I've seen one of those, so I thought that was the hornbill. Till I saw that thing. I was like, nah, that's it, but that's not the right color. So it's that one. Alright. Got it. All those hours in Destiny finally paying off. In case it wasn't already obvious, I'm a far better fighter than I am a waiter. Yeah, be proud, Zio. That was a great shot.
A fair shot.
Indeed.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Alright, and on that cliffhanger, I will be right back. Maybe like 2 minutes tops, or at least I'll try. I'm back. Sorry about that, I'm probably a little bit late. But I took the time to try to find my earbud and no luck, so I'll have to do a proper comb over of my room when I have the time. But we're back now, so...
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. I just figured it got away.
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
I don't think I attuned to that, did I?
Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance.
Naturally.
They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome. But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Alright, finally get a promising lead. I do need to head back though, or more accurately, let me check. Yeah, I didn't think so. So let me go attune to that right quick. Hey, I recognize that guy. Not only from being in my FC, but we call him Lag. He's pretty funny. I wanted to comment on something, but I don't remember. I hate that feeling. You know, like something's right there on the tip of your tongue, right on the precipice of your mind, and then something happens. It doesn't matter what it is. And you immediately forget. Like, you know it was something. You know you forgot something, but you don't know what it was. I hate that feeling. Not that it's your problem, but just thought I'd share on this ride to the mine. Almost said Minecraft. On this ride to the mine shaft. Yeah, Zio has always had good luck. The literal antithesis to mine. Alright, let's get going. Okay, it sounds like I'm gonna get jumped a couple of times. It's weird, I can see that thing from that far away. Or then again, maybe not. Maybe it just feels that way because it was so empty in here. Great. Nice. They're much squishier than I thought they were. And thankfully I had actually a good person help me out there. They didn't just... I'd say, yeah, they didn't just chill out and let me do all the fighting. Oh yeah, the dungeons. That's definitely something I need to talk about. Can't believe I nearly forgot to... And that's not the thing I forgot, by the way. I'll take care of you now. But yeah, I'll talk about the dungeons when there's... I guess the next time there's like a large expanse like that, I might bring it up, because it's not too much to talk about, but I do find it interesting to me, especially compared to how Endgame was... Especially compared to how Endgame was before Endwalker. Just out of curiosity, let me see how this works now. I'll help her with this and she helped me. I know I said the next time we do an expanse, but I think we're pretty much at the end now. I don't think we're gonna get in a fight again. Well, unless one of those things attack me. Also, make sure we're not missing anything. Wow, they're really thinking outside the box this expansion. They're saying a lot of things I never bothered to really think about. If anything, I overthink the things that don't matter. Yeah, exactly. I wish we had a voice line for that. I would love to hear Kryl actually say that. But see, you'd miss all that if you just... All you probably see is them doing that in the background, and if they walk away after this, too bad, so sad. I honestly didn't think it'd go this far. I thought we'd just do a little bit of research and then off with Thancred to the new area. But new area right here. Sure you were. Then again, maybe you actually were, and you just got hit by that dizzy spell again. Nah, they're doing fine. Don't ask me how a creature that is perpetually flying can take fall damage. Oh, look at that. That's interesting because right here, my little minions. That's something else I need to show you. I'm glad I remember that. Check that out. Stray egg, stray garlic, and stray queen. So, I wonder if the king is around here somewhere. Yep, there he is. Way back there. Stray king, I'm guessing. Stray tomato. Nope. Still, she gets to keep her... I guess because her plant is basically just a mandragora. Yeah, I cannot say that word. So I guess they just decided to let her have the queen title. Instead of changing it to be something like that. Oh, yeah, the minions. I'm glad I remember that, because I absolutely forgot. So, this one right here. I got this one and this one today. This one because it obviously looks really, really good with Arazio. But right here, it almost makes me wish I was playing Lalafell Zio when I saw this. I'm not going to read it, but read the description of this. And this is another reason why I encourage you all to read everything, because once you use it, unless you go to the market board or get another one, you won't get to read this. And this is something I find genuinely funny, but read that. Yeah. Oh man, I'm starting to get hungry. Why would you let Kryl walk in the back? Come on, guys. Well, you can only make crops grow so fast. Yeah, just don't make Zio play waitress again. I kind of went through that so really fast. I like read it, but I didn't really look at it. Did that last sentence Alphino say look weird? I could bring up the little window, but I don't want to risk seeing something ridiculous. But I could have swore I saw like a letter or a word had an extra space in it. I'll check it later when I upload the video. I rarely do that. I rarely watch my own videos, especially the ones that have me talking in them. But just for that, unless I forget, I'll be sure to come back later. Yeah, I thought these things looked a little ripe, but I didn't think that was the actual case. I just figured they looked that way. There's Alphino. So Y'shtola must be back the other way. That's a pretty bumpkin looking outfit you got there, buddy. I'm just going to say this now so I don't forget. Yeah, I figured. Since I was going to, I plan to do the dungeons with the AI and stuff, I'm going to say this now, because chances are I might forget by the time we get there. But, let me just do this first. That's an interesting dream, I'll give you that. But, coincidentally, I'm getting much more accommodations as a Reaper, not a tank, Reaper, as Ara Zio than I did as Lalafell Gunbreaker Zio. funny that. Okay, let's make sure I read that right. Like I said, I can read fast, but I don't really... It's not so much that I don't retain it, it's because my memory is bad. Like, I'll read it... Never mind. It's not even worth getting into. There's no point if you don't remember. This is sounding awfully Titania right now. The music, I meant, obviously. Speaking of Titania, for those who may have been like me, was like, oh, you know, the song's good. It's even better than I thought when you listen to it with headphones. I guess that's kind of a common thing when you listen to music with headphones. You can hear things better. You have to worry about battle noises and grunting and all that stuff. But her song is even better than I thought it was. It really was not that hard. I thought when he said climbing, I was expecting like climbing over magma on pipes or something. Then again, I guess it is full of monsters, so I guess that's why most people would consider this a big deal. She's more adorable than I thought. I saw her earlier, but I was like, because I didn't really get a good look at the outfit. It's like, is she wearing the same bumpkin outfit as everybody else? They have to, right? And sure enough. Of course, I'm only mildly teasing when I say bumpkin. It's just the fact that they're purposely having the one overall strap not be on there. Which kind of sucks when I think about it, because some of the Disciple of the Land and Disciple of the Hand clothing looks really good. Oh, sorry, I talked to this dude already. I didn't think I did when I saw him standing and I saw the crops. The angle made me think it was something different. Oh man, I forgot to check my little food experiment. I'll eat 2 of them, that way I won't, hopefully won't forget again. Well, those are pretty, and hopefully not poisonous. And they don't look natural either.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Is that who I think it is? Aww.
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
I should have known better.
You don't seem convinced, but Believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Interesting fellow. You're leaving Cryle in the back again. I recognize this thing.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Arcade?
Hey, there's our buddy.
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
It just dawned on me.
Cryo?
because I saw the look on her face and I just thought, oh, okay.
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
I'll explain in a minute what I think is going on.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Are we gonna do a stealth mission now?
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Not entirely sure what that part meant, but I'm thinking whatever voice she heard might have been reflected in the flowers, since they can pick up on people's emotions. Or maybe they're somehow connected to the live stream. I just find it interesting that Kryl is so... See, again, when she first saw it, I just thought, oh, she might recognize that flower from somewhere. That still might be true in conjunction with whatever else is going on. Man, she's a really good listener for someone who was in a daze. Fair enough. Kind of. Forgot to look again. It's a good thing I had that food ready. Well, I'd hate to lose a lot of health and be attacked by a bee, so... Yeah, see, we didn't hear anything. We only saw it and have to go off what that guy told us. Oh, I just saw something. I hope that's not related to what we're doing. Ah, crap. Yeah, I figured. I like that. You have changed into a toad. Let me do that because I actually do need to read this. Okay, so that's keeping me kind of on a leash. First thing I'm gonna do is talk to her just to prolong it, because yeah, that's gonna waste time. You would have liked this? Okay, it's actually a pretty long time. It's 30 minutes. I was expecting like 30 seconds, if that. Alfie Toad and Alley Toad. Okay, so now it kind of makes sense why they forced this. Still, I'm pretty good at sneaking. Then watch me just get taken out by a tarantula hawk. Or a Fenrir. No, I can't do anything either. Luncheon Toad, that's not a good name. I don't mean that in the sense that it sounds bad. I mean, it's not a good name in the sense that it's referred to eating. Oh, it is. Okay, that's good to know. Wait, north is that way. But Alphino said this is the wrong way, so which is it? I think that's where we're going. We're still very much in the pink bar, so we'll do that. I would use this opportunity to talk about the dungeon, but I do want to focus at least a little bit, because if I get attacked by anything, unless it immediately transforms me back, which I doubt. Let me see what... Nah, it doesn't even give me a third or second hot bar for, like, frog kick or sprint hop or anything like that. Look at that, your minion stays out. That's kind of neat. I kind of should have just talked to them just to see if their talk had any caption stuff in it. Because the time limit really was not an issue at all, thankfully.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work.
Awkward silence.
So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Charlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Charlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
I think I might have just figured it out, because I remembered something.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
Wise man.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
Yeah, I'd be a little weirded out too.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Okay, wiser than I gave him credit for.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Yeah, good point. Just 3 frogs just staring at you. That'd be way too weird. Okay, so without getting too spoiler heavy, I remember seeing a certain image. It might have actually been on the loading screen or something related to Final Fantasy at least. I think I know what their grand plan is, and all I can say about it is it reminds you of a biblical event. A Genesis event, if you will. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because I think I'm right, and I hope I am, because that'd be really neat, because that would explain what's going on right now. Speaking of seeing things. Nope, see? Not giving me anything. Okay, I was looking that time, so I figured it only helps with battle EXP, but I wanted to be absolutely sure. Because I think I've already learned that, but I just forgot. Yeah, that's true. Oh, right. I was going to do this, though, just so it'll be something different for us. Definitely not... did I just random all my mounts or just my favorites? Because I don't remember this one being on my favorite. Yes, that's what I thought. So they're all random. That's fine. I had a friend that really liked this song. Don't know what happened to her. Oh, look out, frog. That is a good question, Y'shtola. Where is Cryo? That's also true. Okay, at least this one gives me something to read, I think. No, it wasn't. Warrior frog. Just because I can. Okay. Alright, this one does look like it updates every check milestone, whatever. Now the issue is I have to find where the flower is, and I don't really remember. I just know it's kind of high up. Okay, I think it's over here, because I remember the bee. So I think it's this way, up on this hill. Yep. Not quite as funny when it's not a Lalafell. Are you ready to share now, Cryo?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Hi, darling.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you.
Yeah, that kind of lines up with what I've heard.
Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Oh boy. Oh, they're actually playing that music for this.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
More on my theory. I hope I'm right, but even if I am, what they're trying to do shouldn't actually work. Not in the grand scheme of things. Not with this, I mean their grand master plan shouldn't actually work, but oh yeah, I forgot. That's probably the only time you'll ever see Cry without her hood on.
Forgive me. I was careless.
Just like the one from Final Fantasy VI.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together.
5. I meant 5. I believe she was from 5 at least.
I
5
trust
or
your
6.
time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
I just noticed she doesn't have her bow. What the heck?
Then it seems your findings support my own.
I was like, she looks so different now.
The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policy-making process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene.
Real quick, sorry to break up the drama, but I gotta say this, otherwise I'll forget. I don't think I forgot the bow, because that should not have been possible. Actually impossible. I think what happened was, because they had Cryo take off her hood, they had Zio take off her bow, which is up, but I think that's what actually happened. Because there was no way I should have missed that. I was like, how did I not see that? I could have swore I saw it earlier. So I think that's what happened. They made her take off her bow. Can you believe it?
But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Can't say it.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno. I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right. as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, hmm? By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
I can see why he was friends with them.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldesion are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand. I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed.
I'm surprised it wasn't unanimous.
Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
I just noticed there was a Lalafell one in the crowd. Well, actually, make that several. I just saw, well, I saw the hat of one, so that had to have been a Lalafell. Speaking of Lalafells, well, let's see if there's another cutscene first. Doesn't, well, no, because that's not true. This has happened before. Let's see. I'll say it doesn't look like it, but they've done this before where something like that will pop up and then the next scene will play. Alright, so on the topic of Lalafell, as anyone who knows me knows, I love my Lalafell and I love my Ara. I interchange them, not all the time obviously because that costs money, but I do interchange them. That scene with Kryl in the flower, I wish I had been my Lalafell. That was a perfect time, a perfect example of why I said I like them both so much. That would have been the perfect time to have been my Lalafell, but How's I supposed to know? Yeah, I thought he was about to be more of an issue, but then when she said like, "Oh, that's grandfather's friend," I was like, "Well, I hope, you know, he's still his friend, despite his friend being dead." And don't worry, I'll remember to check the journal. And yeah, see, her bow is back. I was like, I can't believe I didn't put on her bow. How did that even happen? That's why. And I do know why. I was kind of joking about, they made her take off her bow. What's the big deal? But they obviously did that for characters like this guy right here with the flaming skull mask. Or if you're wearing a helmet or a hood. Just your headgear, period. I just think it's funnier that they actually made her take off her bow. As opposed to a helmet. Yeah, see? Mammoth. That's a good... I'm glad he actually brought it up, because now you see what I was talking about. I kept getting the words confused. I'm glad you said something too, Cryo. Like, there's no way she's going to let that slide. What was I about to look at? Ah, yes, the journal. Just to make sure we're not too far behind. Read that. And that. Like I said, this is just for later when this gets posted. Alright. I'm gonna try to adjust my headset again. Give me a moment. Try to see if I can find the earbud. I say, yeah, let me stop that too. Oh. Her hairstyle is actually from another in-game character, one you ordinarily can't just conveniently get. So I find it interesting that they gave that to her instead of just one of the more generic hairstyles. I think that's an interesting choice. I see where Alice gets the spunk from. I hope the gifts are what I expect them to be. Okay, good, because I'm planning to do Thancred soon. You know what I meant. Kind of. An incarnation, but yeah, basically. She's even still in surprise. It's okay, Alice. We still like you. Yep, let's do it. Well, no guarantee. Ara Zio is much more expressive than Lalafell Zio. After a fashion, of course. The Lalafells are definitely the most expressive race in the game. Yeah, good point. No, just seeing if you had anything different to say.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
I was gonna say, Ara Zio's definitely more appropriately dressed for this than Lalafell Zio.
I'll have you know I'm quite fond of the Rising Stones.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you would accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could. sending the Scion's coin and other such donations.
That explains a lot.
Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name. "'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits."
Yep, that's what I was hoping for.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect.
I was. Now, I will say this. I still have not watched it yet. But one time I just happened to turn on my PlayStation 4 while the title screen was playing, and I saw Alice in this outfit. I didn't get a good look because I pretty much went off it immediately. But I had a good look at how it basically looks. And to that I say, I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they kept it a secret to make this a bit more impactful. It still will be, just not by that much.
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
We all know since the end of Shadowbringer she's been wanting a new outfit. The jacket looked especially nice.
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Now, Alphino's I have not seen at all, so this one actually will be surprising.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
Yeah, that looks really good on him. It suits him.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
Is it
If
new
you'd
weapon?
allow me, Master Alphino.
Well, I guess I'm about to find out. Yep, new weapons. So Alphino is the sage. Wait a minute.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father.
So if Alphino's the sage, does that mean... Nah.
Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days. As a student, he was often called upon to venture into the field.
By the way, I was saying nah before I saw that, because like there's no reason for Alice to change her whole fighting style. Technically, there's no reason for Alphino to do it too, but I digress. It's more believable than Alice just becoming a Reaper.
He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Oh, you and the Soul Stone to go
I am
with it.
told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb.
This should be interesting because I have not bothered to try Sage, and to be honest, I probably still won't. Probably still will be basic White Mage just to get my mentor back. But it will be interesting to see Alphinaud in a fight now. Well, more interesting.
May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
And in cutscenes as well. Related to him being a sage now is what I meant.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion.
I can't help but think that if I was Lalafell Zio right now, he'd be nowhere in this scene.
Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
Well, that was very sweet. Not quite ready to end it, though. Not yet. Yeah, seeing after how significant that was, no update. I'd probably have greater appreciation for Alisae's if I hadn't already been slightly spoiled by it. But I still like it, but Alphinaud's is just amazing. It just really gives him a, and I don't even mean it in the class type of way, he really does like a sage now. Again, not just the class, but something about the robe, the pants, the boots, really just gives him that sage look. I like it. While Alisae's does in fact look more rough and tumble, which of course suits her. No, don't worry, the conversation was nothing about y'all being innocent little babies. Oh, about to pass up on a shortcut. Oh, I just noticed the site I want to go to isn't even that. I was just attracted to the purple marker. There we go. Oh, and don't worry, I didn't forget the dungeon talk is just, if I'm right about what's about to happen, it's probably going to have to wait till next stream. And I'll be sure to actually get into it as opposed to making excuses. Not that I needed to really make excuses, it's just I was trying to wait for a better moment. And any of them that did came, I ended up doing something else. But yeah, well, let's see. Because now that we're all, well, not all, but you know what I mean, generally speaking, I'm pretty sure now, after this, can start on Thancred quest. Now, the only thing I could guess they might have seen was probably Zodiark, considering how hyped up he's been getting, especially in Shadowbringers. So they might have gotten to see Zodiark. But I think I know what their plan is, like I said. And all I can say, to give a more general hint, I'll say stars. Stars. Oh, that's good to hear, Alice, because I thought for sure you were about to get a scythe. That's good. Oh yeah, I wonder how unique your sage abilities will be if you can somehow imbue them like you did your carbuncles. That'd be kind of cool. Huh. Alright, what about you, Cryo? Aw, adorable. Okay, it kind of makes me wonder how it'd be if I started with theirs first, the dialogue they would have, because I'm fairly certain I'll never know now, which is a small price to pay since that will be inevitable. You'll obviously miss out on one or the other. But that being said, let's see, where is it? There we go. I'm going to say let's do that so I don't forget. So, for now, just as I expected, I'm going to end the stream. We took care of that side of the mission. Next we'll take care of Thancred's and Urianger. See where that... Oh, and of course the Stinians. And see where that leads us. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you around.